CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 has been a long time coming. It's actually been years since it was first announced, and we haven't actually seen or heard much of it since then. There isn't a whole lot of information available, but there have been instances where something has been revealed either accidentally or through sources close to the company. Let's take a look at 7 such pieces of information that should make you excited about the upcoming RPG. 4 times bigger than The Witcher 3. Ever since CD Projekt Red announced Cyberpunk 2077 way back in 2012, fans have been curious to learn more about the game. Following the massive success of The Witcher 3, however, gamers' expectations from the studio have skyrocketed. There have now been reports via GameZone about an insider leak which, among other things, claims that Cyberpunk 2077 will be 4 times larger than all of The Witcher 3. Yes, even including the DLCs. The game will also reportedly use the seasonal system that we've seen in The Witcher 3 to generate huge maps. Furthermore, according to the leak, the game will also feature a dynamic and destructible environment. This information in particular was revealed to YouTube channel The Triple S League from a source within the development team, so viewers would be well advised to take this report with a grain of salt. However, given how long the game has been in development and with the intense amount of effort that the studio is putting into the game, it is entirely possible that Cyberpunk 2077 may surpass the Witcher franchise in size and scope. Whether it'll be able to hold its own in gaming history alongside the behemoth that was The Witcher 3 remains to be seen. 2 new classes. There isn't much information about Cyberpunk 2077 at the very least. Among the things we know about Cyberpunk 2077, we now know of 2 classes that we'll get to play as in the upcoming RPG. Mike Pondsmith, the guy who created the tabletop RPG that the upcoming video game will be based on, is also acting as a consultant on said game. Speaking to Game Reactor, he let slip that journalist and executive are 2 classes that will remain playable in Cyberpunk 2077, alongside the other unconventional classes that define Cyberpunk to begin with. Brian Mantia and Melissa Reese, who are both known for their association with the legendary rock band Guns N' Roses, as well as their work on several other high-profile games, are currently working on composing music for CD Projekt Red's upcoming game. Mantia has had a stint as the drummer for Guns N' Roses, while Reese is currently a keyboardist for the band. The IMDb pages for both of them, Mantia and Reese, mention that they're both working on Cyberpunk 2077's soundtrack. They've both previously worked on high-profile video games in the past as well. Brian Mantia has worked on games such as Mortal Kombat, with Melissa Reese having worked on Bloodborne, while both of them together worked on Infamous 2 and Infamous Second Son. The Central Hub. Thanks to the Triple S League and the Mad Queen show, sources that have been known in the past to leak major information about the game, we've got some new details on what's being called the game's social hub, which will essentially act as a sort of bridge between the game's single-player and multiplayer experiences. This is as per an anonymous source close to the Triple S League, so as always, take it with a grain of salt. This is by no means even close to being official confirmation, but it's something at least. The social hub in Cyberpunk 2077 will apparently be like the farm from Destiny 2, where players can wander in to look for new activities, and this might also entail some sort of minigame. That said, the source stresses that CD Projekt Red does not want to turn Cyberpunk 2077 into an MMO in spite of their focus on online features, which is definitely encouraging to hear. An online model. According to CD Projekt Red CEO Adam Kaczynski, the upcoming game will have online elements of some sort, which he confirmed in an interview with Strefa Inwestero, a Polish investment site, translated by TechRaptor. Online is necessary or very recommended if you wish to achieve a long-term success. At some point, we've mentioned that there will be a certain online element related to Cyberpunk, he said, adding that there is great value to a well-done multiplayer mode. Multiplayer is strategically important. Playing online is strategically important because we want to have a commercial leg for service-type games. Games which generate stable income, period to period, which are built. Of course, every game ends after a number of years. Some service-type games function even after 10 years, but outside our main source of income, meaning big names, is building a stable source of income. And in the future, we can imagine a lot of connections between big games and service-type games. We have to acknowledge it, it is obvious. Then again, this statement got quite a few people worried. However, it was later clarified that there will be no unfair microtransactions. Taking to Twitter, CD Projekt Red assured fans that there would be no egregious microtransactions and that their fears were unfounded. The studio wrote a post on Twitter and replied by saying that when you think of Cyberpunk 2077, you should think of nothing less than an experience on equal footing with 2015's The Witcher 3. The studio has promised the game will be a huge single-player, open-world, story-driven RPG, and that there's no hidden catch. With Cyberpunk 2077, you're allegedly going to get what you pay for, with CD Projekt Red claiming that they only believe in honest gaming and leave greed to others. That's definitely encouraging to say the least. CD Projekt Red have always practiced what they do in the most respectable and consumer-friendly way possible, so we're glad to see that it looks like that will continue. As for what the online components in Cyberpunk 2077 will be, clearly we don't know that yet, but judging by these comments, we're quite hopeful that they won't interfere with the true single-player experience in any meaningful way. Complex melee weapons and firearms design. CD Projekt Red have posted and tweeted about a new job opening at their development team, and it may have revealed some small but interesting pieces of information about Cyberpunk 2077. The studio claims to be looking for a weapons artist, offering a chance to work on one of the most acclaimed role-playing games. As per the job ad, the weapons artist will be responsible for creating incredibly complex weapons designs and modeling complex melee weapons and firearms designs. Interestingly enough, the studio lists anyone applying for the job to have a passion for guns and military equipment, as well as a deep understanding of mechanical engineering and design. Considering Cyberpunk 2077 is vastly different from The Witcher in terms of its tone and setting, it'll be interesting to see the kind of weapon designs CD Projekt Red comes up with when the game releases. When that'll be is anyone's best guess, but Cyberpunk 2077 does not yet have a release date. It's likely coming in 2019, but we'll have to wait for more information.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.